What's up, people? This is episode 149 of the Option Podcast. I'm Jason DeBeas. That guy looks like John Mesko. We're going to find out in a minute. The episode starts right now. It's good, Johnny.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 149, along with my man John Mesko, my special guest today, or should I say tonight. I'm Jason DeBeas, and we are dancing. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but let's start with you talking about a rodeo before we got on the podcast.
I went to rodeo in Montana on Saturday night, and one of my ex-girlfriends had a personal diatribe about saying literally, using the word literally correctly, unlike Rob Lowe, who mainstreamed it and caused Merriam-Webster to
have a fit.
They actually had to enter an alternate definition for literally to include meaning figuratively, which caused my sister to have a fit because she's a copy editor.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll try to cut to the chase. I was in line to get a cocktail at the rodeo, and I made some sort of mistake, didn't get a napkin, didn't tip right or something, and the guy behind me goes, "What is this, your first rodeo?" And I go, "Literally, it is."
Dude, I'm my whole family, my wife's family is a family full of academics, so it would have been highly personal too. I'm like, what? Figuratively, literally? Just shut up. Shut up.
I try to use the word literally once a year, and I try to not use the word like.
Well,
so I'm anti-mainstream.
I got really, when I studied theater, right? I got really. Actually, the book you should read is Speak with Distinction. Like anyone that's ever studied acting, you got to take at least 1 year of voice and speech. And Marymount, we had to take 3. But Speak with Distinction, understanding when to wet your T's if you're a singer, understanding that try, there's no CH in try, it's actually try, right? And something I used to tease my European friends. I had a friend from Romania, she was like, "I'll try, and I'm like, that's just a weird way of saying it. And I'm like, one, she's right. And me with my Brooklyn accent, who am I to tease anyone's accent? So, right? Like, like try or truth.
I'm a low talker and a mumbler, so I don't have any room to critique myself.
No, your voice literally figuratively flies under the radar.
low talker.
I almost said literally flies under the radar. Dude, we just got started. Instagram's blowing. I can't read a damn word they're saying, but I'll figure it out. It says who you got? What's up, John Mesko? All right, cool.
They can't find me because I'm not on social media.
No, and they can't find me because they don't know where I live. You're a ghost, dude. I had to turn the internet upside down, and finally, I got with Jeff.
You can Samuels?
Yeah.
You can hire people to clean you off the internet.
Yes. Right? Mayer did it.
Yeah.
John Mayer? Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
He's just not interested in people seeking him out by other means other than email. He sees an email and either he wants to respond or he won't.
My social media is LinkedIn, apparently, so that's how you have to find me.
That's it. But that's good. That's one place you check. And
I don't check it.
I was just going to say, either you're interested or you're not.
I might update that once every 10 years.
I haven't, dude. I updated my LinkedIn 6 months ago, and I'm like.
You know what my social media is Venmo.
Venmo.
Speaking of which, Banesh, I owe you $20 from our king tonight.
Yeah.
My bad. I got to take on our commercial break. I'll send him his Venmo.
Banesh got you. I mean, you got his back.
Suck it.
Oh, you play king with who?
Came, Theo, and Banesh. We did a little no jump king tonight.
Nice.
I love no jump.
Yeah, and I've seen you do it. I've seen you do it with people your size or bigger too. I've seen you do it with Ryan Doherty.
Yeah, Doherty's good. There's some shorter guys. Taylor's amazing at no jump. Miles Partain, those guys are high seeds. You don't have to be tall, but I mean Theo is probably the winningest player I've played with, and it helps to have that reach and the height. It's hard to jumbo over him. It's hard to defend when he spikes it.
Yeah, Theo. and I mentioned on this podcast before, but it bears repeating. I'm actually a fan. I've mentioned I'm more of a purist of the sport and not a fan of a particular person. But with that being said, I'm a fan. I'm an actual fan of Theo.
The old school guys think that some of the current short court big guys, I don't know, maybe Doherty would be included or Theo. They discredit them, but man, in no jump, Theo keeps hitting this high line. He hits the line very, very consistently. He's like Hayden with his line shot. Yep. He can hit a spot. It is really impressive. It's a very impressive touch.
Yeah. Would you say that's what gives him his success at the open level? Like there are a lot of players. I'll give you an example and I'll let you talk, my bad. Like Todd Rogers, I remember him saying he shaves basically a foot off of each side of the court. If you hit that, then you can win. And if you miss that, you won't. And the pressure of hit or miss in that game of inches. With that being said,
well, Hayden will hit it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hayden will hit the line, but no, Theo, he has that touch. He has that winning touch. But yeah, I like if a guy hits a line, I like to let him have it.
Yep, definitely. Let's actually talk about Motherlode, man.
Love the Motherlode.
Motherlode is this.
It's a ghost.
This paradise.
Most people have no idea what it is.
No, they don't. I actually might put it up on camera for it too. Just like a picture. He had a drone shot of like the center court. Mm-hmm. And I actually have that, so I'll put it up. But talk to me about just your trip out there. You playing a little bit with Hitman for Hire, Stephen Rochette, which is weird because I always call you the Hitman for Hire.
I am?
That's what you really are. Actually, and I'm like, wait, the Hitman for Hire got himself a Hitman for
Hire. Steve's fun to play with, man.
Yeah, all ambidextrous and
fun
stuff.
To play with.
Yep. Where is it? Let me show the shot for everybody because everyone can see. Here it is. Let's go to camera 4.
Motherlode's a special place.
Look at that. Beautiful shot right there, dude.
What you really need to see is a shot looking up from the courts with the mountains in the backdrop, because that's a look that you don't get at beach volleyball tournaments very often. But
no,
I'll get one for you later.
Actually, this is a nice shot right here. Here's a video.
Yeah, the mountains in the background. 8,000 feet. It's no joke.
Let's do a full shot of that.
Yeah. There it is.
That is. And look at the moon. Saw the moon already up?
The moon was coming up. High altitude. Crisp air, just water out of the tap. It's a great place.
Doesn't it have a little Amsterdam feel to it? During the daytime?
Never been.
Yeah. I've been in military, kind of been everywhere. But a little bit, you ever been to Santa Fe?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. Is that compared, does like the
Santa
daytime or?
It's like 5,000 feet.
Yeah.
No, it's higher. I'm thinking Albuquerque.
Right. I guess since you've been there and since you've been a lot of places, does the altitude preparing for this tournament mess with you, or is it just?
Yeah, when I go to an altitude tournament, I'm trying to hit jump serves or hit balls like 3 feet inbounds, like almost like the short court's a big court, because the ball's going to sail at altitude.
Yeah.
A lot of hitting errors at the Motherlode at altitude because the ball you normally hit 1 foot inbounds is now 2 feet out.
Yeah, so true, dude.
And then they switched up Mikasa sponsored the Motherlode this year, and so that was a little change. I haven't played with that ball maybe 5 years since I've played a tournament with it.
Yeah,
that was south of France. It was a FIVB tournament.
I brought some Mikasas with me, and they're like, "Oh my god, they look so new," and I'm like, because. But you're right. So in addition to the altitude, you're playing. The sponsor's a Luft balloon.
Luft balloon.
Yeah.
So you got a little. People have some heart rate, breathing, fitness issues, and then you're also trying to track the ball and floating through the air differently, and then you're trying to hit the ball inbound. So a lot of things. And jump serve is almost removed at Motherlode. Very few people can really deliver a jump serve up there.
I agree.
So a lot of float serves.
I mean, it would have to be a ball you use all year round, right? Because I think,
but also altitude. Like Skylar Del Sol's great at Motherlode. He just lives in. He's the Colorado guy.
And you were close to winning a couple of times, right?
I feel like I've been third 4 or 5 times there.
Yeah. Tell everybody what place you finished this weekend.
Third. But you have to frost that with. I'm very grateful. There was 43 teams in the men's open. Very grateful.
No doubt. we had a conversation about cruise control too. Remember we had
you started. you kept saying I was on cruise control on center court.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Well, it looked like my eye test, and you know, of course, I'm a fan. I'm a volleyball hack, but my big secret is I'm a 22-year coach. So my eye test told me that the percentage, like jump percentage and power and this and whatever that you were operating out of, I'm like, if they can't stop that, he can do that all day. And with this altitude thing, I felt like you were dragging the teams into deep water where you were swimming just fine, and these guys hop, you know, these guys are like hopping. Let me actually show a video. I actually got a good clip of this too.
Well, the other thing is, I really wanted to win the tournament, and so I'm only expending the energy that I need to.
Right.
It's a measured process. So that this year, you know, Virginia Beach in Atlantic City, guys are cramping. You know, it's a hot tournament.
Right.
Heavy expenditures, and you know, guys aren't making it. You know, they're having to forfeit, and so I was really measured about my energy there.
Let's see if I could jump to the scene. I just want to show someone just side out. This is before the technical timeout. This was this was winner's bracket day before. Anyone whose last name was Basie, right, had a great tournament.
The
right?
Basies
like,
are great.
Yeah, like Lars had a.
We played that 18-year-old Basie. I think it's Gage.
Yeah, that's Gage.
He was good.
So this is an example of what I was talking about. Just boom.
Can't believe he set me.
Just patient. Yeah, nice patient.
Deep angle.
Would you say, I don't mean to use this as a straw man fallacy or whatever, or straw man argument, but would you say that one hit was an example of what you've been hitting all day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep angle cut, high line.
Yep. Yeah, so many ways to do it.
It's you know, I like playing chess, and there's this chess player at the World Championships, and he started the match, and he spent 40 minutes before he moved his first piece, which is an anomaly. Usually guys open pretty quickly because an opening is pretty predictable. But right. He just, when asked about it, he said, I didn't know which piece I wanted to move. And that's how I start a volleyball tournament. Is I'm just really thinking about what the guys are going to do. And if I'm playing against somebody that knows my game, like Tim Brewster, I won't cut it one time. But I think in that one match at the Motherlode, I think I cut it 10 times and I was 10 for 10. And it's because the guy hadn't played me and he just wasn't picking up the cut. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
It's a chess game.
How much, I mean, I'll ask an obvious questions because we are audience and answer, right? And their answers you and me are just going to know before I even finish a sentence, but this is a podcast. How much does home field advantage play into it for someone like Gage Basie and Lars Basie? For the people listening, Lars won the whole thing with Ian Carlson beating.
I think it's huge. Yeah. In Albuquerque this year, Ty Coots won the tournament with this guy, and they played great. But it's at altitude. You know, Steve Rochitz, our first couple matches, he was swinging at a transition set, tough set, 8 feet off, and he'd take a heavy swing at a ball that 9 times out of 10 he hits inbounds, but at altitude with a Mikasa, he hit it 3 feet out. The Basies, they're not making that mistake. They know that the ball sails, so they're right from the get go, they're ahead. So, but he was like a velociraptor. Once he learned over time, he started chopping it down.
Ambidextrously.
Rochitz is really talented.
And with both hands, right?
Yeah.
This weekend. I'm sitting there calling it, right? And I'm like, if he hurts you with his left, go down.
The hardest part for me was trying to figure out if he was going to set me. Every other ball he hit on too. So I love that.
Yeah. But again, I was like, who is, before the podcast, I was like, who's the real hitman for hire on this one?
I love it when my partner hits on too.
Yeah. And again, set location looked good, right? He gave you the set you wanted.
Great setter.
Anything that allows you to see like the entire court.
Super positive energy, great defender. I can set him anywhere and he'll put it away. Easy guy to play with.
Yeah, a partner where you don't have to deal with your partner.
I hope he wants to play again a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect Skylar, but I know in the past, I know he could be a difficult personality. I don't know what he is now. He seems a little bit more chill, but I know he's kind of hot-headed and this and that.
He might be like Spock. I mean, he might be a higher level or a different level. It seems a little different to play with. He might be so far like Kid Rock is a line. I'm so ahead of the game, I feel left behind. I mean, that might be how he feels, So,
yes, yeah.
But yeah, Skylar and I finished third twice at the Motherlode. He has a lot of talent packed inside his body.
Would you say he's the best hands in beach volleyball on the domestic scene?
So Skylar and I met on the NVL, and I think 2 different times he got voted best setter on the NVL, and one of the times he tried to give the award to me. So I think I was the unofficial second place. Skylar has great hands. Was it because he got you got set more, or he had to set you had to set him more or something? Because I've gotten served my whole life. I'm ready for it.
Then take that reward.
I love it when we get to the end of a match and I'm just on cruise control, like you said, and guys are they're like, well, we're not scoring against him, so they get tired of me and serve my partner. That's my favorite point.
And it really is. Like, I remember watching the '88 team and giving away our age, and because Karch and Stavertly, right? 2-passer system, and Stavertly wins best passer.
Wow.
And it's like, how does he win best passer and Karch doesn't? Because Karch didn't get served because Karch was better.
There you go. Yeah.
So I said, take those hands awards from Skylar if that was your day.
It's like Phil winning most offensive player. How's he going to win that award? He only hits 1 out of every 10 plays.
Dude, and most of us consider serve defense. The 2 fastest ways to score a point is serve and block. And he can do that before he even hits an option, right? He's up 8 points before he even takes a swing.
That start of the game, literally up 8 points in Arizona against Brazil, the U.S. versus Brazil. Look that up on YouTube. I think it's called "This Is How You Start a Match."
Yeah,
Phil is just that is the best example of Sunday Phil out there.
It was actually. I don't even think it was in Brazil. I think it was in China. I think it was a semis final. He was down 6-0 or something like that, game 3, and then just.
Oh, was it? Yeah, Todd and him went down 6-1 in game 1 in the Olympic final in Beijing.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how game 3 started. I thought they won like 15-6.
Yeah.
In that final.
Definitely.
It was a lot.
But when I think of good hands, I think of Rafa Rodriguez.
He's great.
His hands are
great.
His
met
fluidity
him. Well, that was actually Norseca first, but he played on the NVL as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's playing with Norseca. He was playing with Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? Irizarry.
No, also another guy.
Not a Mauri, right? I wonder if a Mauri Velasco.
Blanking on his name.
Yeah. You go back that far. I wonder if a Mauri Velasco played for Puerto Rico.
NVL wasn't that long ago. It was 2016.
No, I was talking about Norseca.
Oh,
yeah.
The Norseca is the original Ghost Tour. You just gotta make sure they're having them first.
So you've been around this sport. I looked at your BVB page, and I just started writing down random names, partners that you played against. All right, not partners, but players that you played against. So it's going to be like the best of the best, and just like people we know: Karch, Adam Johnson, Matt Prosser, Adam Roberts, Brad Keenan, John Mayer, Lambert, Metzger, Camacho. He was there over the weekend, right?
We were partners.
Yeah. Gibb, Rosenthal, Albee, Nygaard, Loomis, anyone whose first name is Casey, Jennings, Patterson, Nick Lucena, Wong, Dax, Burek, Smith, Cabbage, Palm, anyone whose first name is Travis, Muirwitter, Schoonover, Mark Fonacari, Pottstown dude, Kyle Ratty, Ratledge, Skylar, Samuels.
It's a lot of memories.
This is 2.5 generations of beach volleyball, and here you are on my podcast, looking young, looking, trying to compete with me because I'm 52 and I'm supposed to be the young looking old dude here, and you roll up in my house looking like this. So let's start glass half full on this. What's exciting about with all the beach volleyball you played in the generations, and seeing certain players come and go, and see like the great sponsors, and see the ups and downs and highs and lows. What's exciting about beach volleyball now today? What's something that maybe you're at a tournament, right? Or maybe you're just watching the finals in this, and you're like, this is freaking cool. So if you get what I'm asking, what's exciting about beach volleyball now?
Feels like the guys are getting younger every year. I mean, I believe Miles Partain set a record in Hermosa for qualifying. Was it 15?
Yeah,
qualifying
with his brother, no less.
Right? I watched
17.
I watched that match against Samuels and Brunsting. That went into overtime in Game 3, and that was exciting to watch. I was standing on top of the restroom, and then the heckling. Guys are just brutally heckling Brunsting and Samuels because it seemed like it was two grown men against two kids. And it kind of was, but man, the Partains are not kids. I just played against them in Seaside, Oregon.
Yep.
And Marcus was on our 6-man team, and I've been training a little with Miles over the last 4 or 5 years. Miles Partain, I was telling guys about, and some guys at the beginning of this year didn't know who he was. And I said,
"Good Lord,
that guy he's special. He's unique in the category that every time I see him, he gets taller, stronger, and better at volleyball. And that's been consistent for the last 5 years, and it's not stopping.
Yeah,
it gets better every time.
Actually, let's keep talking. I just want to show people how skinny this kid looked. Okay, we don't want to see no damn Burger King commercial, but I want to show people, because what you were talking about, his transition from teenager to young man to like,
and again
to
at
like
15 he was holding his own in a main draw match at 15, and now he's winning.
All right, here it is.
Won his first one in Atlanta.
So that's him and Marcus. Those are just
that's Hermosa. I think that's Hermosa.
That's Hermosa Beach. You're back there.
Yeah, I'm on the bathroom. I'm standing in the bathroom somewhere.
Yeah, it could be you in the blue for all we know. Yeah, so for everybody watching at home, this is in front of the hotel, the Beach House Hotel in Hermosa Beach, and those are not bleachers. There were guys who set up chairs, beach chairs, and just sat off the edge of the bathroom. Yeah, so that stone thing you see behind the green umbrella.
I might be in the light blue shirt on the standing in the bathroom there.
I'm pretty sure that's you.
I was enjoying the dialogue.
Yeah.
And those guys were just, you see, they don't let a ball drop, and they're just always in system. That's what I noticed about in Oregon playing against them, and they went deep in that tournament, is they're just always in system, never out of system.
Yeah. And doing the little things. You don't see them cut corners. Like if they're passing, you see that nice little hole, that little exaggerated hole.
Real positive energy all the time, no matter what. I mean, get a block, no problem.
Yeah.
Shank a ball, no problem.
And you also see him simulate. Like if he misses a pass, he'll step off the court and do this kind of mimic thing. Yeah. Like this kind of robot self-correct thing. That's Alzina's big on that too. So I was just curious if that's something they got from him.
That's a good. I like that practice. I do that if I get chiseled. I'll take my hands and like kind of imagine being big, shaking hands with a giant, doing that big press. Yep. But back to what's exciting. So Miles with the option play. I mean, he is giving guys him and Lotman are giving guys fits, and I mean everybody almost had to go back to the drawing board and come up with their own solution for it. And I haven't seen, I've been fortunate to play for a long time. I think I qualified for my first tournament in 2006. I haven't seen that much innovation in my career, and that option play, after they really have perfected it, I'm seeing a third or half the teams trying it. So at the Motherlode, Steve was hitting one of two balls on two and jump setting the rest, and that gives blockers fits. When I see the blocker, he's like barely getting out to me. It's so much easier to side out. And so we played Ian Satterfield and Caleb Queckel in Virginia Beach, and Caleb is almost every time jump setting or hitting. And then Dylan Zacco is setting Max Martin well with the jump set. It just, man, it's, if you're not doing it, you should be thinking about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely for sure.
Getting an open net is a pretty nice luxury.
Like here's Qatar. I'll do it again. Sorry, I'm on half camera here. Let's do that. So actually, let's go back. Can I go back? So the reason why I'm showing like international teams is because they haven't been doing the catch and throw set, right? Like the FBI catch and release, the deep dish Pizza Hut set.
They have to flag it.
The jump set was an earlier and volume, they have not been doing it the same way Parchain has. I mean, Seaside, he did it 4 out of every 5 plays, right? It would seem he was, and it didn't even matter if the set was like the 10-foot line or the pass, the first one.
I don't know if there were stats, but this might be a record, but there was a set in Seaside, and Marcus, as Miles had just won Atlanta, so he just got his first AVP win in a gold tournament. I mean, it's a huge deal for him, especially at his age. But so he goes up to Seaside, so of course Marcus is getting served every ball, right?
Right.
I mean, if you kind of have to be an idiot to be serving Miles. So Marcus is seeing every serve. They win the set, and Marcus, I heard this third party, Marcus had 0 kills.
Yeah.
Winning the set. So you know.
Yeah, dude.
Just somehow siding out that many times, and you know, Miles was setting him, you know, probably 1 of 5 times. Yep. So you're doing something.
Where's my camera? Holding your platform. Everything in the world, man. That ball just waits for the hitter to get there. Order the hot dog. Eat the hot dog. Swing.
So that's impressive. But yeah, 2 guys on the court. I like the hurry up offense. I like trying to catch guys out of position.
Yeah.
So it's a nice innovation.
Also, I think it's also changing the way some people are setting and learning how to set, because again, with the you know, some people who deep dish it, you're not going to see a lot of deep dishers jump set. It looked like the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. You know, unless you know they've been playing taps and it looks good. So
when I was playing with Del Sol, he would jump set me, and he was so convincing with it. He would fool me. I thought he was hitting.
And you're like, I got to hit.
He would sell the hits so well that I was not ready.
Yeah, but I like what you said. I was actually going to do like a countdown clock on that, because we were going to take turns answering that question, and I think the thing I like exciting about volleyball today is the AVP partnerships with a lot of these smaller venues, like Pottstown Rumble was its own entity, like Coconut Beach was its own entity, but because there's a partnership now. It looks like the AVP is making more stops, but they're not really, because those people are going to go to those tournaments anyway. But the excitement of watching these things on YouTube and watching different venues and watching people, just more players, you're now emotionally invested in the future of volleyball, because, you know, for the Gold Series, you just care about the top 16 or the top this or the top that. But guys like Evan Corey, you know, before he hooked up with Logan Weber, he was live streaming every weekend. Like on Facebook for us old farts. Yeah. Every single weekend, he's in the finals, winning or losing, and that was when he was full-time blocking, or like splitting block or whatever. And
I picked up his old partner, JD Hamilton.
Yeah, JD isn't JD cool?
JD's awesome.
Yeah, you become smart in your old age. You're picking up partners where you don't have to deal with your partner.
I'll scoop and deliver.
Hell yeah! So, but that's the thing that excited me, like. The partnership, and I guess the 3 letters just exposed more talent that, you know, if you're not watching a qualifier in Manhattan, you're not going to see him in the draw, right?
So we played this night match in Virginia Beach, and
tell me,
and we go to John King, and you know there was a rain delay, and so we're trying to figure out, like, if we had delayed it until Sunday, we would have. And theoretically, if we're trying to win the tournament, we would have had to play 6 matches on Sunday. So we're trying to push it into Saturday night, but it's getting dark. So it's 4 of us. We all commit to playing. And it's getting real dark. And it was just a lot of fun. Who was streaming it on Instagram Live, and I had so many people text me after that, say, I just saw you, you know, in the dark. How are you even seeing out there? But guys just finding different ways to get it out there. But you know what's exciting is that 2010, when the AVP went bankrupt, you know, some people were arguing, legitimate people were arguing that it might not be worth 7 digits, you know, to buy it out of bankruptcy. And now, arguably, you know, conceivably, it's into the 8 digits, and Bally's, you know, investing time, resources, money into it. And then there's others out there, you know. I'll be invested into NVL and Molly Menard, and now you have Randy Metter talking about some interesting things out of Texas, and I love seeing new life and blood, sweat, and resources being put into volleyball. So that's exciting.
Well, that was going to be my next subject. What are some of the obstacles that you see get in the way? And this one, I think I'll go first. The AVP partnershiping with some of these people were some of the exciting things, but at the same time, it's my same answer. It's some of the obstacles. If there isn't, the reason why you're talking about all of the positive things that have happened, it's because of the common denominator of inclusiveness, right? If you have this establishment where you just tell people, no, we got our people for this, or we got our people for that, and we got our people for this, and got our people for that, that's an obstacle. That's an obstacle. Like Coconut Beach, you know what I'm saying? They had a commentating team. They had a broadcast team. I actually called Center Court last year. You know, they're bringing their own people. That's silly. That's silly. And it's also divisive. You know, volleyball, I think what you were getting to before I busted in and interrupted this beautiful soliloquy you had was with unity, right? With unity, with togetherness. I think that a lot can be done. And I think right now the obstacle is sometimes there's a wall. You know, and I sound like I'm talking about myself, but I'm only using myself as an example because that's the only thing I can reflect and experience.
It's been there over time.
Right.
It's always an obstacle I think humans are going to have to overcome. Mm-hmm. It's selfishness and versus unity.
Yep. And I'm hoping that comes. I mean, I did a documentary called Club Coach. It's on that computer somewhere, and I gotta decide if I want it to be on Hulu or if it's just a thing that I put on YouTube. And I visited New Orleans, spoke to Bruce White. You know Bruce, right? Mm-hmm. I went to Texas, spoke to Bobby Jones, Project Serve. We know Bobby for a long time, you and me. I've known him since 2002.
Like every time I go to Texas, I play him.
Yeah, I know. He's such a talk about a good energy person. And
two guarantees if you're going to go to Texas, or it used to be, you're going to play Bobby Jones and you're going to play Rochitz.
Yes.
if you go deep enough, you're playing Rochitz and Peter.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I went four times. I went twice with Schwengel over the last couple of years over COVID, and I think I lost 4 times, all 4 to Rochitz.
Yeah. Yeah, but God, Bobby's doing some good things. I met Bobby when he was a model in New York, 2002. Yeah. He sang the Humpty Dance. We sang karaoke together.
Yeah, that guy's got energy.
Yeah, man, he does. He had a big old Lenny Kravitz afro too. Don't make me look that up and put him on and light him up, boy.
Who had a bigger afro, him or Earl Schultz?
Oh, Schultz.
Schultz gets big. He was on our 6-man team, man. That guy. We came out Saturday morning, that leather, crusty Wilson leather ball that's been sitting in a bag, 40, 51 weeks a year for the last 20 years. He came out Sunday morning and hit somebody in the face with that. I gave him like a middle 1.5 set. I think the guy got a concussion. It was one of the heaviest hits I've seen with one of the gnarliest, crustiest balls. Yeah. And it was still cold.
You don't even see the swing. From where he's cocking back and how he finishes.
He is
the torque.
He is jacked.
Yeah.
He hits a heavy ball.
It was, dude.
And the afro is so distracting too.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, you're up there and you think it's just this cool guy that's going to shoot the ball at you. And next thing you know, you're running into something you think is a cut and you're going to get concussed because you just got jacked. Or is it check? Yeah,
we put our 6-man team together in 10 days after Atlantic City. That was fun.
Nice. Dude, yeah. Well, I got to train him and Jake for Hermosa Beach. And so happy he got that one. We had to beat actually Evan to get in. Evan and Kevin Vallela. So that was a good playing game for him and Jake, and they deserved it.
Yeah.
The right to get housed by the McKibbins the first round. So yeah, Bobby Jones, right? And then you got Nashville, you got Hayden. I was out there talking to him. Then you got Brian McDermott, who you got to meet this guy if you haven't met him already.
Have not.
He's in Chicago. He has an indoor facility called Progression Beach Volleyball. He's all about those juniors. Like if it ain't about juniors, he don't care. He's about that business. Carrie Shue, Wisconsin, we know her already.
Love Carrie.
Colby Burleson.
You have all these coach credentials, these lanyards.
Yeah.
I think I've coached twice, and one of them, they both might be Carrie Shue. Bill Kalinsky called me. His sister was playing with Carrie Shue. He said, "You're coaching them."
So good. Who Carrie play with?
Huntington and Manhattan Beach. It was Julie Kalinsky.
Oh, Julie Kalinsky.
That's her maiden name. Bill's sister. They were great.
Yeah, man.
They had they got some wins.
She got
Carrie's great.
She got a little baby factory. She got a
baby factory and the sandbox out there in Wisconsin.
She got one kid that's 10 months, but she says she wants to have 5 more.
I had some cheese curds in Wisconsin in honor of Carrie.
Yes,
coach.
Yeah. Well, I was glad I had a chance to interview her. I was out there anyway because I have a house in Fish Creek. My family has like this house that the last week of every June we're out there, and for some reason my idiot self leaves before Wapaka. But Kobe Burleson, right? Utah.
Utah has a strong volleyball base. Those guys all go to the Motherlode too.
Yeah. He was there. He played Jeff and
I used to.
Or did he play you? He played Jeff and Burek. Kobe Burleson.
Yeah.
He played with Collins.
One of my favorite towns in the world is Park City, and they have 2 or 3, maybe 4 sand courts. I don't know how many, but I've gone up there before randomly, and it's a while ago. But like Casey Patterson will be there, and they're and then maybe the most spectated match I've ever played against was Strickland and I against Gibb Patterson in Salt Lake, 2012, when the AVP was coming back, and I know they weren't watching us, but it was fun.
Dude, they must have.
We got heckled.
A small village, though, right? Yeah.
And
Speaking of small villages,
and
right?
Utah, they know volleyball. They were intelligent.
So much to be grateful of Casey Patterson.
That was the unique thing about that tournament. That was the only air-conditioned players' tent I've ever seen. That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, cool. What?
It was Donald's son. I think that was his first kind of breakout tournament. He wanted to do it right. I was impressed.
Yeah. I say big up to that guy too. I've been one of his biggest critics, but at the same time, I don't criticize people just for its own sake. I like that this man had a vision.
The man in the arena.
Yeah, but I like that he bet on himself.
Yeah.
And I like that he took chances. Like no one was a fan of the scoring freeze until a year in, and then all of a sudden the fans loved it, and maybe guys like Ricardo, whatever, still don't like it, And Stafford Slick loves it. I'm sure him and Billy Allen, they had some comebacks.
Theo loved it, then he doesn't love it anymore.
Yes, I had Theo on the podcast, but listen. First of all, my criticism's fair. Second of all, I give credit where credit's due. The guy took some chances and had to be brave as far as like player relations, and he did it, and he did it his way, right? And why wouldn't you if you're the one responsible if things go wrong, right? You have to be able to be the shot caller, if you're responsible.
Do you know the man in the arena quote?
Of course I do. So Travis Mewhirter says it all the time, and I mean, and I have a love-hate relationship.
And he's he's a writer, but you kind of have to be a critic when you're writing. Yeah. He does it in a very nice way.
Yeah.
But I'm just like everyone else. I critique people sometimes, but I always remember the man in the arena.
The man in the arena. To me, I have a love-hate relationship with the man in the arena because if I cross the line and say, oh, that person quit, he has no heart. And if I've never played volleyball, then I've crossed the line. Give me the man in the arena speech. I'll take that speech twice. But this whole notion that someone never played, so they're wrong, is a classic non sequitur. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Chuck Daly has never dribbled a basketball. You're a Michigan guy. Chuck Daly's never dribbled.
He's in the arena.
But he's never dribbled a basketball in his life. And he was coaching and critiquing players harshly and this and that. He's not in the arena, okay, per se. He's never touched the basketball.
That applies to him though too when he's trying to beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
In 1991.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna have a conversation about basketball, do I trust Jeff Van Gundy or do I trust Isaiah Thomas just because Isaiah Thomas has been been playing on the court and won 2 rings?
I think Van Gundy has more wins, right?
As a coach?
I don't know.
As a coach.
Yeah.
Van Gundy's played high school basketball.
I think
but the point
that quote can apply to, and man wasn't probably the true intention. It was probably more just person trying to master their craft.
Yeah.
Don't, be careful about critiquing, or maybe Jesus might say before you point out the log, or before you point out the speck in your neighbor's eye,
when you have a board in your own,
you might want to take care of the log in your own eye.
Yeah. Actually, the King James Version says board, but I like log. Log. Come on, board is like this, right? Log is like,
I'm more of a
dude, hypocrite.
I'm a New American Standard guy.
Yeah.
I was on a random fact about John
Please.
Mesko. I was on a Bible quizzing team in high school.
Nice.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, as a guy who served in the military, nobody co-signs about the value of the man in the arena story more than me, more so than any other elite athlete. Okay, because I'm a Gulf War vet, right? People are protesting the war. Some people have this habit of taking out on the soldiers, right? We don't get to choose where we go. You know what I'm saying? And we're not. I mean, I joined the Army because I saw G.I. Joe. I wanted to help people that couldn't help themselves, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm being yelled at by a bunch of people who don't know what the hell I'm going through. So I appreciate the man in the arena. And I always tell people, I'm like, dude, take it out with the politicians. That dude, buy him a drink. Say thank you, you know? So, yeah. So I understand if we were being, if literal, if figurative and literal, which a literal have this side of the middle. Yeah.
And we can say, I hope someday none of us have to go do that.
No. Every male member of my family served, including my sister who did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Yeah. Thank God we're all alive. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that little fun fact about Mr. Mesko. Yeah. I'm sorry. We went too long about man in the arena. I'm not being literal. I'm like, dude, a man in the arena, that dude dies if he's wrong. You ain't no man. None of y'all are men in the arena. Shut the hell up. None of y'all are in a situation where if you lose, you die. Stop with that. So no, but I get it.
That's the ultimate man in the arena.
It is.
It's like gladiators.
But Travis says it a lot, and I like that he says it because, you know, he's one of those guys that had a lot of doubters coming up, people that will never do what little or lot that you see, what you see on that man's BVB page. Mm-hmm. I respect that dude.
He had an amazing year this year.
Yep, I respect that dude a lot. I wish I could find that video where he open hand the sky ball. Did you see that?
I did not.
He went to play in his Canadian tournament, right? And Kame Shark, they were telling Kame Shark to sky ball because Kame always misses. And he served a sky ball, and Travis comes under the ball and takes it with his hands clean, and everyone just goes, oh!
Love it. Love that.
So big plug up to him.
I was honored to make his book.
Yeah. How about that, huh?
Yeah.
First of all, the guy can write.
He's a good outdoorsman too. He's got picked up surfing this year. We go backpacking. We were COVID backpackers, little family backpackers, and him and I went up to Sequoia Forest last fall just for a quick trip and found this little nugget called Heather Lake. And man, that is a mental reset. Just hanging out on the lake for a day or two.
Yeah.
No one around.
Yeah. Well, to quote the great Sanford Meisner, there's no such thing as nothing. Theater reference, of course. There's no such thing as nothing. You're out there and you're looking out there and it looks like you're doing nothing, but let me tell you something, brother. It's something. It's truly something.
Yeah,
it really is.
Especially living in LA, just that kind of reset is really healthy.
Yeah, we could definitely have a conversation about mental health and this and that. And I've talked to so many people on my podcast who had to overcome obstacles. Riley Salmon has a story to tell. You know, I had friends that had a story to tell about Eric Zahn. You know, like a lot of people didn't see that coming, and some people did.
NVL guys.
Yep,
they both played on the NVL.
Yeah, this is my first commentating gig, and Hermosa Beach. Moran and Cabbage from the qualifier all the way to the finals lost to Palm Zahn.
I think they beat us in that tournament.
In the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
I was going to say, don't tell me you finished third again.
Might have been a fifth. Drew Mallon. Palm and Zahn. They were good. Palm and Zahn. I played them a lot on the NVL.
Yeah. Palm is a caveman.
Yeah.
He's a caveman.
Yeah. He used to wear these yellow socks. I think in that
tournament
with the palm trees on them.
I bet you still has them.
Albie was trying to get me to find a hose. He's like, "Can you please get a hose out here so Palm will take those socks off?"
I think he still had them. I was coaching him and Samuels in Huntington, in 2019,
I don't
and
know.
he had the welder's glass. He had the welder's glasses, and he had these yellow socks. I didn't see what was on them though.
I need to know how it feels to get hit in the face with a ball with that welder's mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is him and Kalinsky and Hayden need to explain to me how you play with a long sleeve shirt on in 100 degree weather. That's fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, they won't have any hot dog tans. I'll tell you that. You know. Yeah. Big up Palm if you're listening, and sometimes you do. Doing some really good work with the juniors out in Florida. It's some of the most proud work he's done as a player or a coach.
He just passed a lot of guys this year.
Yeah.
People used to I was playing in the NVL for all of 2015 and 16. And I took a little flack from it, kind of going over from the AVP. And not like I was a big guy in the AVP, but people were kind of discrediting it. But, the top 4, 5, 6 guys, Zahn, Piotr, Skyler, Palm, they all climbed up the AVP ranks pretty quick. And Palm was the last guy this year. And it feels like he's kind of locked in the main draw now with his points.
When I saw him win 2016 Hermosa Beach, I said, if this guy's ever in an AVP in the Hermosa Beach, he can beat anyone in the top 4. And then 3 years later, right, he qualifies with Dylan Merrick.
Mm-hmm.
And Case Beer and Chalk had just won Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And he beats Case Beer and Chalk on center court.
Wow.
2-0.
Wow.
And Caveman
I didn't know that.
Caveman did at the net, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I call that tournament the tournament.
He's a good blocker.
He is.
Good server.
Yep. But he's one of those guys like you, it's impossible to guess his age because, like in 2019, they're like, oh, wow, that's a young upstart. And I'm like, no, that's a caveman, dude. Unga Bunga needs sleeves.
Him and Rafi are just going to disguise their face with facial hair.
Yeah. Oh, Street Jesus?
Yeah.
Rafi? Yeah.
Rafi. I was
Amish Jesus.
Rafi, Evan, Corey, and Cam and I did a little sunset session last night, a little sunset dip with some people, with some friends. It's nice.
I like Rafi a lot.
I do too.
He's warm. He's personable. I know him and Jeff are tight too.
Yeah.
They were roommates for a minute, right?
Yeah.
In fact, right across the street from where I live. Now I'm telling people where I live. Thanks a lot, dude. So as far as like your playing career, there's as a longtime indoor player, I've had these spurts where I'm like, this is the most fun I've had playing. And then there's a second spurt. Wow, this is the most fun I've had playing. Do you have a memory where you're like, this is the most fun I'm having in volleyball right now? Was there like a time period? Even if it's the present, even if you're a prisoner of the moment, work with me on that one as I'm shaping my question.
Well, Adam Roberts would qualify this. He'd say, well, did you win that tournament? When you're saying I had the most fun, and it's usually the tournaments you won. So I went to St. Lucia with Will Montgomery for Norseca, and we went on sets. We went 10-0, went 5 straight matches through the tournament, just won, got handed our envelope of $1,500 cash each or something, got all taken care of, and just went out on the town. It was really fun. And that we went in the Sulphur Hot Springs on the way back, and jumped off this cliff, and Will's an adventurer, and that was a great time.
Good Lord.
But I've had some pretty amazing times with some competitors. Like Dane Blanton was really fun to play with and just taught me a lot about the game. And I just enjoy pushing myself and challenging every point to get better mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I had fun playing with Blanton. Every match, every tournament you win, big pressure, big money match, big tournament is pretty fun, and still clipping away a few this year.
Nice. I appreciate that. Good. I'm glad I had a chance to like shape that and you kind of like got that. Yeah. It's weird because very, very rarely do you have this great memory of the time of your life in a losing effort, right? It's just not, they're strange bedfellows. They're not married. They're not even kissing cousins. They're strange bedfellows.
You know what I love is when someone comes out and has never seen beach volleyball before, and this happened a couple times this year. Hermosa, Manhattan, had some friends come out, and they just said, "This is amazing. I love this." And Came and Theo won in Hermosa, and Sarah, they all came out afterwards. So Scott, the record coach to coach the women and the men.
Yeah, Davenport
winners. And so we took them over to Vista and gave them a celebratory cocktail, and it was just seeing some of the people who'd never seen a volleyball tournament before. It was great to see how much they loved it without really knowing anything about it.
Well, that's the cool thing about Hermosa Beach as well. I think and there's any venue that attracts a demographic of people who never watch beach because of where where it is geographically. People are walking by, and maybe we'll see someone get after it instead of not going through the motions, but that's a whole gripe. That's a whole nother gripe. Boom, fans, they're watching, they're staying, they're coming back the next day. It's on that big screen where you can see it from Hennessy's, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do. It's hard to get in the stadium, so you had to do it. But Kurt Rambis, I discovered volleyball pretty late, maybe 27, 28 is when I first started playing heavy. But Kurt Rambis came out much later than that after he retired NBA, and he said, "This is the greatest sport. I love it, and I'm going to play this." There's a lot of ex basketball, ex football guys. Matt Leinart likes playing a little.
Yeah. Richard Jefferson,
Luke Walton. Those guys. Was Kareem the first kind of legendary?
Wilt.
Sorry, Wilt.
Yeah.
Wilt. That's what I meant.
As a Knicks fan, I remember Wilt well.
Basketball to volleyball transitions well.
Yeah, it really does. Wilt said no sport commands jumping more than volleyball does, and
arguably
former basketball player, right?
Arguably, many volleyball players, their preference might have been basketball.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
that's me.
No,
maybe I'm speaking for...
No, as a kid from Brooklyn who chose volleyball over basketball, I might be the exception that rewrites the rule, but the majority-wise,
I'm just picturing...
You're not incorrect.
I'm picturing whoever sitting on the end of the bench, the sixth guy on the basketball team, and the volleyball coach comes over and picks him up and says, "Hey, you want to start? You want to start for me?
Yeah.
You'll be a starter. You'll be a star."
There it is, see? And also, no beach is even better. It's like no bench. Look, if you suck, we can't bench you.
But here in the South Bay at Miracosta, I bet it's the opposite. I'm imagining Avery Drost. He coaches
the indoor boys. Yeah,
I imagine he's going over to the so the basketball coaches come over to the volleyball team saying, "Hey, will you please? We need better basketball players."
That's definitely happened for Redondo Union too.
Yeah.
Duncan Avery, longtime coach there. I think Kevin Norman's there now, but Duncan Avery is the guy that gave me my in for indoor when I moved here. No one knew me, took a chance with me.
Speaking of legendary volleyball tournaments, I've always wanted to play in the Calcutta, which is always the same weekend as the Motherlode. And Kevin Norman, legend. I've always wanted to play in it. I think Lev Prima won it this year.
Forrest Savage, right? Forrest Savage.
I've never played in it. Always been at the Chicago AVP or the Motherlode or both.
Yeah. Well, I've had the chance to see both. So, Motherlode for the first time. My first announcing gig, people. That was, what a lot of people don't know is by trade, I'm a color commentator and play-by-play guy. So that was the first time. Grabbed a mic and did announcing and did starting lineups, but
maybe I take Hermosa and Manhattan for granted. It's possible, but my three favorite tournaments of the year are Seaside, 1,500 teams and what is it, like 150 courts?
Yeah.
How many times have I said this podcast so far? I'm trying to go, trying to go zero. But
I meant to do the 1 minute challenge.
I'm at 4. So Seaside, Motherlode, and then Chicago AVP. Just the Drake in the background, the Chicago skyline on Oak Street Beach, and my Midwestern people there. It's
I was just gonna say the people in Chicago.
I grew up 6 hours north of there in Michigan.
I remember I was interviewing Madison McKibben, and he said, "Jay, no disrespect to New York, because he knows I love my city." He says, "But the fans out there are just so now very much like New York. This great immigration population. Like you got a lot of great talented Polish players in Chicago. In New York, same thing. You have a handful of Russian dudes. I'm talking indoor, predominantly, of course, but highly knowledgeable in the sport and just big, avid Savage fans. And I did go to Chicago again to interview Brian McDermott, and I went to the beach. I forgot Oak Street Beach. Yeah. I went there and I met Mike Muldean, that guy with the beard who takes pictures with everybody. He's like. Yeah. He's like our Spike Lee, man. He's a super fan. He's always on center court. He's got the money, I guess.
Love that.
Volleyball needs a Spike Lee. They need a Jack Nicholson for the Lakers, which
it's Eddie from 16th Street.
Yeah,
that's who we got.
Yep, no doubt. So, God, did you see the show, The Lakers Dynasty, Winning Time?
No.
The whole concept, the original concept of saying we have to have celebrities in our stands was a Lakers thing, something I didn't know. And it was basically, It's basically a 10-part thing talking about Dr. Bus, a very young genie Bus, and what they had to do recruiting Magic, the rivalry with the Lakers. And if you've ever seen this, you would appreciate why some Californians are sore winners. When they win, they're just like, in your face, ah! Because if you had to deal with Red Auerbach and see that smirk every year, like, yeah, you'll be all right. You did good, kid. A little tap on the head. When you finally beat someone like that, it's like you stomp a roach and kill it, but you're still stomping after the roach is dead. It's just boom, 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 boom. Great watch. A great watch if it's something, if you ever want to box at something, or
they say, I think Fletch said it as his first date is a Laker. For every girl that he went out with, was his first date was a favorite at the Laker game. I think the Laker game is one of the best nights in town, maybe anywhere. There's an energy there that's pretty impressive.
It's electric. I've been to a Lakers game.
Unless they don't make the playoffs. I went to the last game of the season last year. That was awful.
I went to Lakers and Nets when the Nets had Garnett and Pierce, and I thought that was a fun game. Yeah, it was fun.
I'd like to see Garnett play beach volleyball.
Garnett would murder it, dude. Garnett would have the time where he'd be cramping up. We gotta fix that first year he's playing, because I could see both of those skinny legs just locking up, and him praying to Jesus, making sure his life is straight with God from the pain. But yeah, so the one thing I like to know, the reason why I brought it up is something you could appreciate, because I was going to use that as a segue to something else. He was talking about swans. When swans are swimming in the lake, right? They're beautiful, they're elegant, and it just looks like they're floating along. It's effortless. But if you look under the water and watch the way those web feet are just pedaling like... It is a great example of the work being put together to make this look beautiful. That place under that place is pedaling and working and grinding like a mother.
Who was it? Henry Ford maybe said, I'm a big believer in good luck, and I find that I have a lot of it when I work really hard.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites.
Wow. Nice. I like that.
Marcus Partain and I played volleys at the Manhattan AVP one morning just to get a workout in. And if you get a good volleys player, if you're well matched, equally matched, it's one of the best workouts. You play a 3-set match. So he and I were talking about, how tired were you? Were you tired? Because I couldn't tell. And that's the gamesmanship is just posturing and trying to play a little poker and let the other guy know that I'm not tired. We just had a long rally and I'm ready to go. And I got that from the bike world, mountain bike and road racing. A little like Lance Armstrong, going up a hill, you're just kind of looking over at the other guy like, this is not that big of a deal. And your heart rate's at 190. You're just trying to control your breathing and even talk a little bit to make it seem like you're not tired. That in volleys, that's one of my favorite games. That's important.
Yeah,
fitness and posturing.
Yep. So I read a little bit about your mountain biking. How could I say, competitive events and just one of your passions and one of the things that you excelled at before or maybe segue into beach volleyball. Talk to me a little bit about that. I remember you proposed a wheelie challenge at the Motherlode. That was pretty fun.
Nobody took me up on it. It's a free roll.
Dude, you're Motherlode every year. They already know your background. You can't come out like the new guy and act like they don't know you.
Ride a wheelie longer than me, you get $100. I'll throw that out to anybody except those stunt riders.
I can picture one guy saying, "I'll do that," and the guy just grabbing him like, "Dude, that's John Mesko." So that's not a new guy. Don't let him do that.
Growing up in Michigan, volleyball was a girls' sport. So when I saw it, I have a crisp memory of two guys peppering in our high school gym. And I just said to myself, why are they playing a girls' sport? And so I picked up the mountain bike, and my friends and I would just train every day. And eventually I got into racing, and I was fortunate. I got on the national tour. It's called NORBA, National Championship Series, not unlike the AVP, and won at the right time, right place. I won a big race, won the national championships at 18. For juniors. That's cool. And so I raced bikes for 20 years, from maybe 12 to 32. I was feeling racing bikes almost every weekend. And then when I found volleyball, it was such a breath of fresh air. Just because when we're traveling to all these tournaments. I just got back from Colorado, and it's a long day of travel each way. If you have a bad bike race, you're all beat up, torn up, it's bloody, muddy, and it's a long drive home. But we had a tough beat there against Bjork and Samuels in the semis, and we just I went for a little hike, went in the jacuzzi, and it's not that bad of a day. We just finished third at the Motherlode.
What happened at 18 up? You guys you hit the ground, and I think Rochitte's. I don't know if he fell over you, but I know it was 18 up, and you were on the back line, and you were on the floor, and Rochitte's was on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Was there a
collision? I think he dug it off the court, and I tried to get him a good transition set, put him on top, and it was just a long rally that ended up with both of us on the ground. Okay. It was a tough point, and then I hit the next ball just like a half an inch out.
Yeah.
That's the fifth time I said like.
It was one of my favorite matches, and I was actually announcing another one. I was doing the ladies semifinals, Smiling Jackie Wegner and Tess Rogers against Wopat and Spieler. Ladies
love that team.
Look, I followed you and Steven, and I follow Mark and whatever. I'm a brother, Jess, a brother from another mother. I'm on my worst day, we're friend. Me and you are friendly.
We all would rather watch Honeybee and Carly.
Yes, the girls stole the freaking show.
They're great. And
the girls in the quarterfinals stole the show.
I already put in my request for Carly, but Honeybee, we're going to negotiate Monday night when we jump off the pier. We want them both on our women's 6-man team next year.
Let's do it. Yeah. But collectively, like Katie Piles, Lena Sokolowski, Wegner,
the ladies are great.
They stole the show.
Yeah.
I am always more intrigued by men's beach than women because of how fast the ball moves, right? So that lightning in a bottle makes men's more attractive. But this was like, they played the right song. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world? Girls.
That was an awesome song before the finals.
Yes, that was my choice, by the way. They So what got you into volleyball? Was it girls?
That was a component, but it was just more the entire process. I found this beach later, maybe when I was 20, and saw guys. I think some guys are in from California and northern Michigan, and I saw them just kind of being real athletic, bouncing a ball, and playing really well. And it's like, wow, this is really cool. And the whole and you pan out and you see your friends on a boat. And these guys over here with a cooler and then with a grill, and it's just the summer scene. It's what every liquor commercial puts in the backdrop in their B-roll, and that's what beach volleyball is. And when I finally made it to Hermosa Beach and was just infiltrated into the scene, I didn't think it was real. It's a vacation every day.
Dude, Bud, come back home where you belong, dude.
It
really is.
It's an amazing lifestyle. I love it.
Yeah,
I play it as long as I can.
I
heard you and Kame talking about the Haydn program. I gotta stay on that. On the Haydn program.
Definitely. I'm again, people 52, and I don't even look it. I look like a creepy 35. Hey, little girl, help!
Just you carry your cute daughter around. How old is she?
She's 5.
5. Just carry her around. You get a pass for whatever you want.
Dude,
she's great.
Some people have a dog, right? And that's how they attract girls. I got a little Queen Daenerys looking thing from Game of Thrones upstairs, in the studio, next to the studio. So let's do. I usually have like 1 minute debate questions, but I really like this conversational format. But for its own sake, I want to do a 60-second lightning round, a quick question, and then boom. So let's set up the clock. There's my clock. I like that. And let's go. Best conditioned partner you ever played with?
Wow. Earl Schultz. I don't know if I've played with him.
That. The most angry partner you ever played with? Is that like Skylar or Dana?
Dana was one of the most interesting, but yes. Yeah, he can play angry.
The player you look forward to playing the most?
Taylor Crabb or Miles Partain.
Nice. Thumbs up or thumbs down? NCAA Beach is now 16 teams for the playoffs.
Thumbs medium.
Nice. Single elimination for that. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I always prefer double limb.
Okay. Freeze or no freeze?
No freeze.
Pool or beach?
Beach.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
Your other favorite sport?
Surfing.
Childhood sports idol?
Michael Jordan.
Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Seinfeld is the best show in history.
Nice. It really is. So one of these questions, now that the lightning round is done, was the last good book you read. But before we talk about the last good book you read, I noticed on your profile one of your favorite books is I believe it's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, right? Now I wanted to talk about that because it was required reading for me in college.
Wow.
For stagecraft.
It's a good college.
Yeah. Stagecraft, scenery, and rigging. We had to understand, like, how something felt. Every acting major, you had to take that class. So
Wow.
Why this book and what intrigues you about it? It's a great read, but it's an educational tool. It's so many things rolled up in one. Talk to me a little bit about the book, why you like this book and what it means to you.
Well, the core of the book is the author's trying to define quality. You read it?
Yeah.
So Robert Pirsig is trying to define quality. It's somewhat of an autobiography. And that's one of life's greatest questions is why are we here and what really are we searching for and what should we be doing or what should we be working on? How do we achieve quality in our lives? And so that's a question I ask myself every day. What kind of person do I want to be today? What do I want to work on? What do I want to build? We usually humans as a race generally overestimates what they can get done in a day, but underestimates what they can get done in a month or a year. And so I like chipping away at it.
Yeah. Well, the thing I got from it is that there are some people who are about rationality, right? And there are some people who are about romanticism, and romanticism is often often than not
the classical romantic.
Yeah, they're often
clash.
Romanticism is often associated with irrationality.
So
right?
So you got Dr. Spock over here from Star Trek,
right?
And then you have the romantic.
You must be out of your Vulcan mind. Yeah. So the thing I liked about that was awesome. The thing I liked about that is this book is that he learned that these things he had to have a later appreciation for
the romantic side because he was the Spock.
Right. Well, I think the reasoning
Spock.
behind it is the irrational as a term gets a bad rap. Irrational means is synonymous with behavior, accepting something that's not supported by fact, right? But then, as you live your life, and some things that are accepted as facts change. You had this rigid lifestyle guided by certain amounts of principles, and you're like, well, the facts change, so do I change, and I'm like, or why don't you just try this without rhyme or reason? And that's a very important thing for actors. That was my major. I was in the BFA program at Marymount Manhattan. For us to talk in dialogue and disagree, agree, maybe argue, like we had some people walk out of class snorting angry about this doesn't make sense, don't do it. And I'm like, no, sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. So, and the important thing I got out of this was, as a returning adult student, I was 33 when I went back to school. They teach you a way of acting where if you get up and move across the room, you need a reason to. Right? And that's synonymous with young people, because young people, you could teach that from the ground up. Old people, you have to break them down and rebuild it, right? Because they're already used to a way it's tough for them to give up control. We're control freaks. We have a certain way of doing it. That shit, what? No. But then there's another technique, Michael Chekhov, not Anton Chekhov, not the playwright. Both Russian, no. Where you just get up and move across the room and move back. Move again. Move back. You're free, and then you start figuring out the why. And as an actor, there are certain people that works for them because as they figure out why during the rehearsal process, their acting choices are more organic, and they're not given to them. So it allows you to reflect as an artist, but at the same time, sooner or later you got to come back to the other, because some of the films and stuff you have to do under direction, not what you feel like doing, unless you're like a rock star who gets to do whatever they want. So as an actor, just understanding rationality and romanticism and the differences and why they don't exist on their own, and which side of the middle are we as human beings is just it's mind blowing.
That's a good lead in to the book I'm reading right now, which is one of my new favorites. It's called Be Here Now by Ram Dass.
Dude, let's go.
It's all in the title, Be Here Now, and life is always changing. Science changes every day. Facts are disproven and new new experiments every day, and that's our lives. So just be here now, be present, and be the most compassionate, empathetic, hardworking, beautiful souls that we can be.
Yeah, it's all we can ask. Gumption Trap is another thing I got out of that book. And I didn't appreciate until I moved to California. And I basically wrote down an event or mindset that can cause a person to lose enthusiasm and be discouraged from starting or continuing a project.
So he was in Montana, where I just was, and he was hiking with his son. We're still talking about motorcycle maintenance.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go
hiking with Chris, his son, and he's on the side of the mountain, and he's looking, and they're getting past the tree line, and he's looking at the top, and he said, the top, no one really wants to go to the top. It's above the tree line. It's windy up there. It's cold. There's nothing. There's no nature. There's no life. That's why people die on Everest, is because there's nothing up there. It's just cold.
Yeah.
Cold and wind. And he's still at the tree line. He's looking at the sides. He goes, this is where the life is, the sides. But then he has this kind of moment of realization where he says, it's the top that defines the sides. In fact, without the top, you can't have the sides. And that applies to our goals and what we can get done in a year. Is we can climb a mountain in a year, and we can build some amazing things. But without that top, without that end goal, you don't have the sides and all the life and all the messy lessons we learn along the way.
Wow, that's actually a rather acute observation. Mine was a little bit more broad. Mine was basically, when I moved here, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get up and I'm going to start this project. I'm setting 2 hours out of the day to do this. And then the sun comes out, right?
No, but
and then I'm at Starbucks.
That's what most people are missing, is just those 2 hours.
Yeah.
You just got to start. Step number one. Yeah. Most people, I see a lot of people get lost in just starting and putting one foot in front of the other and making stuff happen.
Right. Is that a form of structure one of the things that's attributed to some of the success you've had with restaurants and stuff you've been doing in Hermosa Beach?
Yeah, I think hard work breeds good luck and brings a lot of fulfillment to your life. Even if everything that you build gets torn down like a sandcastle, you can just build it back up again.
Yeah. Max Kellerman from ESPN once said, "Luck is the residue of design." That's one of the things I liked about luck. But I really, CM Punk once said, "Luck is for losers." But the thing I like, Gordon Parks spoke at my graduation, Gordon Parks Jr., and said, "Be prepared for luck." And in theater,
love it.
And I'd like you to I'd like you to take over in a minute, but I'll speak in terms of theater. Like, if you have this opportunity that's rare, and now you have all eyes on you for this moment where it's your time to shine, you cannot be unprepared for that. It fell in your lap. That's the lucky part.
Yeah.
And now you got to make it happen. I'll give you another example. Like, if I'm in a building and you're in a building and you run 66 stairs, right? And I run 44. Meritocracy wins because you ran the most stairs. But getting in the building to run the stairs, floor is yours.
Well, you had Came on recently a month ago, and he was talking about the bad luck of Theo clamping Taylor a couple times, two different times in the final. It goes off his body, pops back over. So I see luck as a product of hard work, and then when you have good luck, it's not good news or bad news. It's just news, and celebrate. I love taking time to celebrate, but then you just move on, and in the flow and karma of life, you're probably gonna have some bad luck. it's going to come your way. I got stung by a stingray right before the Denver AVP. That is some bad luck.
Good Lord.
That is painful. That's one of the most painful experiences of my life. But ended up playing the next day with Gabe Ospina. Had a fun tournament, and realized how good Angel Dashi is. That's good.
Jump serve. When he's a streaky jump server too, man.
He was on it. He was on his jump serve, and that's another altitude tournament. Yeah. Did I answer the question?
You did.
Did I pass or fail?
No, you passed. Flying colors. I mean, there's the only answer. The only wrong answer is the one that comes from a dishonest place. That wasn't like a right or wrong answer. No, that was genuine, and I like that you brought up Angel because he's another classy guy, and I like that you brought up Gabe Ospina because that's add him to the long list of partners where you don't have to deal with your partner. You got him right, man.
I was injured. I think going into the Fort Lauderdale 5-star, that would have been January 2018. We were the number 8. Adam Roberts and I were the number 8 ranked U.S. team internationally. That was about the highest I've ever been ranked. Going into that tournament, I injured my knee, and that spawned into a 3-year knee rehab program. And this is the first year I felt healthy in a while, and I've been grateful to have some good partners. Gabe Ospina, Casey Losick, Steven Roche-Schitz, good partners to play with. Feel very fortunate.
That's so good. Yeah, well, you pick.
All good
I guess in your veteran age, you picking them wisely. You're like, boom, boom, boom.
People forget about guys. I still call Mark Williams once every year or two and say, hey, man.
2 years ago, he was like in the finals.
Man, what are you up to?
Wasn't he in the finals at Laguna 2 years ago?
People forget about guys. Gabe Ospina is a great player. I'm not going to forget about him.
No.
Him and Matt Olson were on the list to play Manhattan qualifier. That's a bad draw. If you get them first round,
sucky draw.
It's a terrible draw for you.
No, it's like what the hell you thought you were in San Diego teaching little girls. Get out of here.
You're supposed to come out in the first round and just have a warm up game if you're a high seed. That's a bad draw. That's kind of like getting Duncan and Daniel Delaney. It's like Travis Scott, but he made good work of it. But that was a landmine as well.
Yeah, I mean that was like. Remember we were talking about Earl Schultz, Earl and Jake in Chicago had to play Hayden and Brunner to get into the draw. That's a
bad draw.
That sucks.
So it's bad luck. Just got to go to the next tournament.
Yeah. In the off season, do you lift, or are you a yoga guy? Or
I'm a yoga guy. I've never really enjoyed lifting weights. I play no jump. We're on the no jump tour in the off season. Cayman and Theo are prime. They're staples on the no jump tour. Banesh he's a guest star. Kalinsky plays. Tim Brewster is playing with us this Friday. Sarah Sponsel loves to get in there. So we played with her last week.
Yeah, I'd love to have her on. She told me to message her. She was cool.
Yeah, she's great. And they're all fiery competitors. We all want to win. No jump's fun. So that's what I do, and I do hot yoga and surf, stand up paddle, hike. David Lee's now in the South Bay, and so he's on the hiking outdoorsy surfing program. He's a great surfer.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Yeah,
talk about a guy who, when he decided to play beach, decided to look like a different person. Because I met him in Hermosa Beach, and he was like, I introduced myself. He's like, I'm David. I'm like, David. He's like, David Lee. And I said, cool. Wow, we got another David Lee. Like the indoor Olympian, right? And they're like, everyone's like, it's like, okay, that's Jason saying stupid Jason things again. And I'm like, whoa, what? No, whoa. I'm like, no. David Lee is unshaven, has black hair. This dude has a blonde hair. Oh, I mean blonde hair and a freaking goatee, and he's not wearing a shirt. And I'm like, I'm the most avid indoor fan won't even make that association. I'm telling you, I say some moronic things, but I plead totally innocent on this one.
So people are asking me about Carly and Carly Wopat at the Motherlode. I see her as the female version of Dave Lee, just an absolute athletic specimen.
Yeah.
Just wow.
I remember
this is what you can do with the human body.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
We have a lot of mutual friends too. Chris Sanchez, he met in Mexico, and they had some fun. But I went to Dave Lee. I said, "You sure wear a T-shirt that says no, I'm not Theo. Stop asking." And he's like, "But if I take off my shirt, if I just take off the shirt, period, they'll know." And I'm like, "Ooh, you got him. That's a jab at Theo. This means war."
Theo's he's the winningest on our no jump tour, so we're always trying to dethrone him, Lord Brunner.
Yeah. One of the questions messaged to us was But I think we kind of already answered that. What new team out there is "quote unquote" a problem? End quote.
Oh, it's absolute. I don't know if Partain and Lotman are a new team anymore, but they were a problem for everybody this year.
I would still call them a new team. They played their second major tournament together in Chicago last year, and they took 5th. And I was like, that team's going to be a problem. And guess what?
But I mean, the other one's Crab Sander. I mean, guys are still trying to figure out how to play them. Yeah. And they were 1 point away from winning their first tournament. Sanders 1 point away from winning his first tournament in Chicago.
Yeah, and haters out there, shut your mouth. Know your role and shut your mouth. I mean, excuse the hell out of these two guys for only finishing the finals 3 times, right? I mean, that was the best he did with his own brother when he hit the scene, right? So think about that. So I hope they stay together. And I like what Taylor Sander brings to the table, and I like Taylor Krabs is not. I mean, you see him hot dog some plays, but it really looked like he got back to just playing serious volleyball physically.
I love seeing Taylor Crab blocking. Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a friend from New York, Ren Osborne. We call him the Queen. Like, guy hangs out in Chelsea, goes dancing, with the queens, and he said the game looks more beautiful when you don't do this. And you do this. The game looks more pretty. It looks more aesthetically pleasing, and new fans will appreciate the beauty of that. And I see Taylor physically committing to more of that, because you'll see him do some one-arm stuff and this and that. But I think if he wants to win a gold medal, he's not even right now. He's got a way to go to pass like the top 5 defenders. You got Ahmed, you got Christian Sorm, you got Lupo, you got 3 guys from Brazil. We could just throw out there just as a 3 or 4-way tie for 5th with Taylor. So, and I know he wants to be the best. I know he wants to be the best in the world.
He's got some X factor. Right before the Hermosa final,
yeah,
the McKibbins picked Kame as their passing expert, quote unquote expert for their passing video, and Taylor is their hitting expert.
Riddle me that. Cool.
And I said, so this is the battle of the best passer versus the best hitter. Right before the final, let's see who wins. And I also, I think I did check who got more views, the McKibbins hitting video with Taylor or the passing video with Kame. And I think it was close.
Really?
I think Taylor got more.
I don't know. The McKibbins got an algorithm push.
I did see Kame's brother's video that went viral from his backyard during the Manhattan Open. So that's the only social media video.
Oh, everyone has but everyone has a viral video like that.
Oh.
All right. Like, ask me.
I don't.
No, but you will. But ask me. Maybe this might. Dude, I had Eric Beranek at like 22,000 views because people saw him cry. Okay. And I told Eric before the podcast, if you cry, I'm gonna slap you. And we both ended up crying because of Gina. Because of Gina, whatever. Yeah. So, we ain't got no reason to cry.
It's like Jerry Maguire and Cuba Gooding.
Yes.
You're not going to make me
cry.
You
lost
lost
both of your friends in the car. That's terrible.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
And he's like, well, you get to finish your career. $10 million, 3 years.
What? I'm not going to cry.
What? He said, what? Like, I'll give you an example. What do you think my most... as far as viewed video, not the name of the video, but what do you think the most views I had on one video is?
I would have guessed Misty May.
Well, it's 5.6 million, and it's Fallon Fanoy Moana.
Wow.
Because she has this group of USC alum worshipers. There's millions of people that worship the glutes and appreciate this 6'5" goddesses doing that thing. And of course, you have idiots because they light up the comment section too. But that's a video, 5.6 million. And guess what's second on mine? It's Fallon. She's on my top 10. She's 3. She's 1, 2, and 3 in my top 10. And then Sinjin Talking Hands, I got 147 for that because Hands has been like the hot button subject for the last 2 seasons. So Sinjin kind of set the record straight on it.
So he got 147,000. Is this one going to get 147?
Yes. You are loved, my man.
So on the tour, you end up playing the same guys some years, and I'll match up against Adam Roberts, a couple times in the same year, or whoever. Matt Prosser, I've played him a lot. just randomly, but then someone you won't play very much, like Hans Stolfus.
Yeah.
This year, I was on a flight with Fallon 3 or 4 times, just randomly sitting a couple rows away from her. I just noticed her that we were on the same flight, so it's kind of random.
Such a classy woman. Such a classy
she's
woman.
Great.
Also, speaking of classy, I'm not trying to rinse and repair what I said about the McKibbins, but I do want to let them know I respect the work they're doing. And they were the only reason I watched Amazing Race.
They're spreading.
I did not watch
spreading
that.
beach volleyball love.
I did not watch that show until I saw them. So, and I sound like I'm sucking up, but I'm from Brooklyn, and y'all know I'm not doing that. I'm just telling the truth. I really, I poke fun at Madison. I poke fun at Riley. I call bull job on some things, but at the end of the day, like you said, I mean, they're doing this for the sport. There are other things they could have done for monetary gain after Amazing Race, and they still chose volleyball. So mad respect to them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was so curious watching the Hermosa final because they had their whole film crew out there doing the final.
It's all brothers, yeah.
And I know the AVP's, doing it on YouTube as well. So it's very curious. And I looked up to see who got more views, theirs or the AVPs, and they ended up edging out the AVP by a little bit.
Yeah, because I think what we're looking for, we're just trying to generate the interest of new fans. And I think, like I said, them taking off from Amazing Race and doing these how-to videos, now they got juniors people looking at them. Now they got college teams looking at them. The indoor scene's following them. And collectively, people are going to click on some of those videos, Yeah. But I was only teasing them because I know how... Because as a YouTube partner, I know how the algorithm push works, and I know how running ads works. I know how that stuff works, because some of my players that are not popular, I've done that,
I do not know how it works.
All right. Well, you don't want to know how it works. I can only say that anything I've ever run an ad for, I will show you my analytics. 1 out of every 3 people that clicked on it watched the entire episode. So 31% is the actual number. So if it's on someone's wall, if they click on it, 31% of those people watch the whole thing. So that's the one thing where I kind of defend myself.
This reminds me of the Anchorman conversation where Vince Vaughn is accusing Ron Burgundy that he said, stop hiding behind the ratings. Those ratings don't account for houses with multiple TVs.
Oh my God. So I'm going to start the countdown clock, and you are going to give some of our fans and our juniors 3 controllables, 3 things that you control as a player that the other team can't take away. They could be on court, they could be off court. Go.
You can control how you prepare for an event, what kind of mindset you're in. You can control your emotions during a competition. And you can control how you react after you win or lose.
Nice. Cool. We got 45 seconds. I think I'm going to go 3 controllables too. Allow me to do the on-court one. Serve, right? It's 100%. No one can knock it out of your hand. No one can make you miss. Only you can make you miss. In system setting, if your partner gives you a good pass, can the other team make you set poorly? The answer to that is no. Only you can make you set poorly. Down ball, free ball. Like some of these situations where you're just not hot dogging, you're taking care of things you can control. Like in windy situations, make sure you take care of those kind of things. Like you said, physical preparation, like yoga and this and that, all of those things that lead to the game. How much time you spend in the gym if you're a lifter, the other team can't take that away from you. So that would be my example of controllables as we count down this clock. Me and John did. There's the horn, baby.
Like
That's what we didn't hear before.
You said some people had some questions early on out there. Do we want to?
Oh, I already read them.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
I printed them and.
But on the chat.
Oh, on the chat already ended. The chat only lasts 40 minutes, and I'd like to maybe we can answer when we do the premiere, because I do a YouTube premiere and I do a Facebook premiere. They'll start asking those questions, and we can answer those. We can answer 2 ways. So we answered live the first way, and we can answer on repair. Before we go. No, that's it. Hey, no, before you go. Oh, one more question. And this is important to some people, all right? Some kid out there watches you play, seen your career, right? Some juniors player. And he wants to be a good player like you. He wants sustainability. He wants to be able to do things that you do on and off the court that make you a professional this and a professional that. What's one thing you would tell a juniors player, 17 or 18 years old, he wants to do this sport and he wants to pursue it as close to full time as he can?
Hard work. There's little substitute for hard work. And then it's difficult financially right now. I always recommend to young players to try to establish some sort of income stream, whatever that may be, whatever makes the most sense for them, whatever they enjoy. Try to get that established, whether it be real estate or software, YouTube algorithms. Establish something so that you're not stressed about the finances every weekend as you're chasing your dreams.
Definitely. Yep.
But as we're talking about work ethic, I don't know Logan Weber that well, but I just dragged my butt across the summer, tournaments every weekend, traveling, just an absolute grind. And I had to go to Montana for a little R&R for 4 days to recover. And Rafi and I and Evan Corey and Kane were just kind of hanging on the Strand yesterday. We go down by 2nd Street, and it's the end of the season, right? Laguna, it was Norseca qualifier, Laguna, it's over. And Logan Weber is out there training with
as if it's preseason.
with not preseason, but Alex Uckelberg, and he's just putting in the work. And that was his strategy the whole time. He said, I'm just going to work harder than the other guys. That's how I'm going to do it.
Someone actually had 2 questions and then removed them. No, that's weird. Well, no, that's pretty cool. Big up to him. Big up to Evan Corey. Those are my two most improved male players of the year.
I'm a big Evan fan.
Yeah. I like his.
He was an Eric Zahn scholarship recipient, and he jumped the pier with us, and we're awarding it to another male and female this Monday night, and they're going to jump the pier with us.
God bless.
Don't tell the lifeguards or the local police.
Nope. Nah, they don't watch this podcast. Well, I was going to say if you have an Instagram handle to plug in this and that, but we already know the answer to that.
We do.
So we're skipping that part. All right, people. So listen, John Mesko might love you guys, but me, I can't stand you. In fact, I think we're out here, all right? So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPhone or iPad, for all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school. For my man, John Mesko. I'm Jason DeBeas, and this is episode 149 of the Option Podcast. We're going to hit my music. Stay with me, and we're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on OptionDB.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.